Hello again, YouTube. I want to do a quick video about toys and what are the kind of staple toys that you want to be looking for. What are the toys that I always buy? Um, if you've been doing this for a long time, none of this will be a big surprise to you. This is more perhaps for a beginner to give them an idea on what to look out for. These are the kind of um, the big ones. The big first obvious one, if you're a reseller already, I know you'll already know this, is Lego. Lovely little Lego. It's one of the most popular toys of all time. There's loads of it out there. There's billions of these bricks out there, and it is a perfect thing to buy and resell on eBay. The demand for this stuff is insatiable. Problem with it is, like I said before, most people know about Lego. Most people don't pass it by if they see it cheap. So there's a lot of competition for Lego. But it is a great thing to resell. You can resell it in so many ways. You can pick up a big box full and then just whack that box on eBay and make an instant profit. Or you can break it down right to its constituent parts and sell, a few windows in a lot. And I do a lot of that, breaking it down. So I do a lot of windows, let's say 10 windows for a five or something. Or you can go right down to selling an individual canoe if you really want to go to that extreme. And there will be a market for that. Trees go really well. And then the obvious one is figures. I don't even have any figures in stock. They sell that quick. I used to sell Lego only for a while. And there's that much of a market there for it. And we used to break it down right down to these are little fence panels, so I'd make up lots of those. These are little Technics lift arms, and we'd sell lots of, 4 or 5 of them at a time. You can go right down to that extreme level and sell it by the part number. Each Lego piece has its own unique part number, and you can sell it by the part numbers. So yeah, that's fantastic. What I tend to do now is I'll buy, let's say I buy a box with 5 kilos of Lego in it. I will go through it, pull out all the figures, pull out the obvious stuff that I can make little lots out of trees. I'll make a lot, maybe a themed lot of people with a bow or whatever. Um, and then I will sell the sort of bog standard Lego by the kilo is how I tend to do it. But you can do it so many ways. Lego is fantastic. The market never wanes on Lego. And then of course you've got kind of kiddie Lego, if you like. Duplo. I've been buying and selling Duplo since I started buying and selling. There is a huge market for this stuff. I tend to find more Duplo than Lego now, I think, because everybody's looking for Lego. And this stuff sells. I probably something like that I would sell on its own and probably get £5 for just a Duplo fan. But there's people looking for the bricks all the time and this sort of thing. There's just such a big demand for it, so don't pass it by. So this is Duplo cars, Disney cars Duplo. That sort of thing I might even sell on its own. I've recently sold some Disney planes figures, well not figures but planes, in Duplo, and they went on their own really well. So yeah, Duplo is another kind of staple that you want to start buying up. It will always sell for you. It's totally reliable, and it's fantastic. Another one is Brio, which is the wooden trains. I've been buying and selling that for donkey's years. There's always a market. It always sells. I tend to buy it and kind of stockpile it for a while, and then once in a while I'll make up a load of sets, take lots of pictures of the sets. I'll put a few trains in, a load of track, all laid out as, so people can see and get in their head, ooh, that looks like a nice set. Put a few buildings with each set and then sell them all off that way. I do buy and sell the trains as well. These I don't think go on Brio, but anything Thomas. You can get Thomas trains for the sort of Brio wooden, and you can get Thomas trains which go on the little plastic tracks and the take and play sets. All the Thomas stuff. This is another sort of One, something you want to look out for is Thomas. I've been buying and selling Thomas stuff for a long time. Look into that market, it's great. Um, and then another one, which is a kind of staple, is figures in general. I mean, action figures, right up to modern day, going right the way back through to obviously the Star Wars figures. You try finding those at boot sales though, you just never see them anymore. When I first started doing this, which was in the very late 90s, I was doing it as a hobby, and then I started doing it full time in 2001. I was still finding the odd bit of vintage Star Wars then. Now you just don't see it. If you do see it, it's a dealer and he's wanting, you know, what I'd sell it for on eBay. But this, I found this last weekend at a car boot sale. This is not vintage by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know what year it is. Oh no, I do. 2001. There you go. So it's getting on to vintage. I mean, it's 13 years old. These are, I think they call them Galactic Heroes. I've not really bought and sold much of this. I don't know much about it, but I've got an absolute steal. It's full of figures. You've got Jar Jar, Darth Maul. There's a wicked looking Chewie. Look at him. He's so cool. But yeah, I picked this up at, like I say, at the weekend. I got a huge haul at the weekend. I did do a video actually, and I showed some of the stuff I picked up, but it was such a massive haul. There was no way I was going to get through all of it. But anyway, this, and it's got effects. It does all different things. It says other things.
The hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon is damaged.
I can't shut it up now. It's off. There you go, it stopped. Yeah, this was £3 with figures. I mean, God, I had no idea when I picked up what it was worth, but it's worth a lot more than that. Some of the figures will go really well on their own. You can buy it now on some of the figures, sort of 3 or 4 quid each. Not masses of money, but the Millennium I'll get really good money out. There was also this one. It's off again. This one, can't remember what the ship's called, with a pilot. I don't know who's in here. Not sure who that is. Got a little R2 sticking out the top there. That was £1. So yeah, figures are great. I also found these at the weekend. I've got tons of these. These are Turtles figures. They're not vintage. The vintage 1980s ones I still find now and again, and they're always worth picking up. But action figures is a huge, huge market. The current ones, the vintage ones, like these, the not so old ones, just if they're the right price, pick them up. There is a date on there, 2000 and something, so yeah, these aren't old. But there's a whole bag of them. And I'll probably do these in lots. It's got loads of weapons and all sorts. And these, I think he wanted 30p a figure. And I bought a load of stuff off him and got a really good deal. But yeah, all day long, buy that sort of thing. The figures, you can't go wrong. Like I say, if you manage to find any vintage Star Wars stuff, obviously pick that up, and then you've got Thundercats and your He-Man and your Ghostbusters, all of the standards. I've been buying and selling those for years. They're getting really, really hard to find at car boot sales. Most of them are in the hands of collectors now, and nobody's really selling them. And then another staple, another thing you really want to be looking out for is Playmobil. Now, I have only fairly recently been buying a lot of Playmobil. Mainly because it wasn't something I had as a kid. It wasn't something I knew anything about. I was a big Lego kid. And I kind of always passed Playmobil by because I knew nothing about it. It didn't appeal to me. It doesn't really appeal to me as a toy, to be honest. You can't take this apart and build it up again. But there is a huge demand for this. If you don't know what Playmobil is like, the figures have the little round eyes, and it's not dissimilar to Lego, but they're sort of twice as tall as a Lego minifigure. and they just do so many different sets. This is obviously from some sort of medieval knights set or something. And they do sort of construction sets with it. Like they do these houses that are all sort of modular, and you can take the walls apart and rearrange it however you want. I bought a ton of this stuff a couple of weeks back at the car boot sale. I bought 3 huge sort of fruit trays full of vehicles, tons of figures, and then tons of these buildings. And there was all animals and just tons of it. And I got the whole lot for 30 quid, and there's hundreds of pounds worth. So yeah, that's Playmobil. If you haven't been buying it to resell, look out for it. There is a really good market. Go onto eBay now and do your research. Excuse me, that was my dinner coming back. So yeah, and Playmobil, they put Playmobil on the figures, so you know that you've got Playmobil because it says it on it. You can't, go wrong. So yeah, that's that really. I just thought I'd do a little vid about toys. That's only really the tip of the iceberg. That's some of the staple things that you want to have in your mind. You can't lose on these ones. The Lego, the Duplo, the Brio wooden train stuff, which I don't have any to show you because it's all sold. The action figures, and what was that last one? The Playmobil. Oh, I was going to show you one other thing. I think I showed these in that haul video I had, and that is Mr. Potato Head. It amazes me what people pay for this stuff. I buy these all the time, and you can get them stupid cheap. It doesn't matter if you pick them up and they're incomplete, because you just do them as bundles. You just chuck it all in a big bundle, and it's fantastic. I get really good money on that. So buy up all your Mr. Potato Head stuff. Some of the special editions, the sort of Toy Story ones and these sort of Star Wars ones, you can probably sell on their own, but the more bog standard, classic Mr. Potato Head with a load of bits and bobs, just put in little lots. 3 or 4 in a lot, you'll get 10, 15 pounds for it. I love selling Mr. Potato Head, mainly because I can get it so cheap. People just sell it cheap. So yeah, hope that was of some use. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing loads more of these videos and showing you guys what I buy and giving you the information to get out there and do this for yourself and make yourself lots of money. There's so much money to be made reselling this stuff. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.